without the progress achieved in December, moving to the second phase of negotiations would not have been possible. But we also have to be clear that any backsliding on the commitments made so far would create a risk to further progress in Brexit negotiations. This applies also to the question of avoiding a hard border. When I was in London last week, I heard very critical comments by Prime Minister May and others about the way the Irish border issue was presented in the draft withdrawal agreement. We know today that the UK government rejects a customs and regulatory border down the Irish Sea, the EU single market, and the customs union. While we must respect this position, we also expect the UK to propose a specific and realistic solution to avoid a hard border. As long as the UK doesn't present such a solution, it is very difficult to imagine substantive progress in Brexit negotiations. If in London someone assumes that the negotiations will deal with other issues first, before moving to the Irish issue, my response would be Ireland first. Next month marks the 20th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement, ratified by large majorities, north and south of the border. We must recognize the democratic decision taken by Britain to leave the EU in 2016, just as we must recognize the democratic decision made on the island of Ireland in 1998, with all its consequences. The risk of destabilizing the fragile peace process must be avoided at all costs, so we will be firm on this. Let me add that during my visit in Luxembourg yesterday, I experienced what European solidarity with Ireland means. As you know, every country has their own problems resulting from Brexit. So does Luxembourg. But one of the first issues raised by Prime Minister Bettel in our conversation was the issue of our common position regarding Ireland. Since my last visit here in Dublin, I have spoken to virtually every EU leader, and every one of them, without exception, declared, just like Prime Minister Bettel did yesterday, that among their priorities are protecting the peace process and avoiding a hard border. The EU stands by Ireland. This is a matter between the EU 27 and UK, not Ireland and the UK.